Howdy, my name's Ethan, and I'm gonna be watching a movie. So, I'm gonna be watching Perks of Being a Wallflower. I read the book for this a while back, maybe a year ago. I don't know. I don't think I remember everything, so this will actually be pretty exciting. And okay, so if you're watching this as like the full length hour 40 whatever thing, I don't know how long my rant's gonna be at the end. Um, then in order to sync this up, what you're gonna want to do is pause when I say to pause. I'm channeling my PMI here, and press play as soon as the opening Summit Studios logo fades completely to black. The music's gonna kind of cut out and it's gonna fade completely to black, and then the sound's gonna cut out. Once that happens, press play. But for now, press pause. So the book is basically the whole thing is set through the context of it's just the letters. So all you get are like, dear friend, blah 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 happens, and it's actually really short. Like it's a quick read, but I think the movie did a pretty good job of incorporating a little bit of that as kind of like a thing to the book. But in terms of what it actually does for context, it doesn't cheat. So like what lots of movies do maybe is they'll have like the character's thoughts or they'll give context, be like, hey, I'm blah 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 from this district. This gives you a little bit of context, but all the actual stuff, like it doesn't say, oh, blah blah blah, this is my friend shot himself, whatever. You find out the same time that Emma Watson's character does. What's her name? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Um, but it's nice. Everything that you'd want to be in a good movie is in this movie. The soundtrack is great. The acting is great. The cinematics, like it uses visual stuff. I'll point out a couple of things, but like it's just it's so excellent. It's great. One of my favorite movies, honestly. It makes me cry most of the times. I'm gonna try not to cry on camera, but oh wait, the screenplay was written by the same guy who wrote the book, and it was directed by him. Oh my gosh, Steven, man, this guy's kicking it. I didn't know that. This right here, this is all the books are. But they are cutting it off with a reflection shot. Like reflection shots, especially ones that involve all the kind of like lighting rigs, those are really hard because you kind of I don't know exactly how you do it, but they're I mean they you can't get the camera in it, so you got to do it from certain angles, and then it's all one big zoom out. That was just all like the context that you get from this tells you a little bit about the main character, but not about every single thing. And the actual like important character building stuff that you do with him is done in all these like really subtle ways that the second time you watch it, it's great. Oh, by the way, if this should probably be your second time watching this. If this is your first time watching it, I'm gonna spoil some things. So I think I might have already spoiled something. Sorry. Everyone kind of acts like high school is like, oh man, it's so bad. It's basically one big hallway. That's I think how pretty much every high school is. Do you think that guy actually grew out his hair that long, or that's a wig? I would love if that was his actual hair and he kept that for a long time. Who? Why does Earth Club need a treasurer? Do they gotta buy? Do they gotta buy metal silverware? In which I don't know. Ozark, which she hasn't changed her hairstyle for. I knew I saw her somewhere before. Her name's not Ozark. Crap, what's her name? Judith. I don't know about this. For me, I feel like sometimes people who do sports are actually the nicest because they're so confident in like where they fit, sometimes on the social whatever, that they don't care. I don't know. People in my school are nice. Why is it that a movie that's like so progressive, like, yeah, that's great, has to have a scene like that in it? It's unfortunate. It's uh, a teacher can't bully a kid this way. Okay, I kind of had a little bit of a voice crack there, but if a teacher like, I don't know, if a teacher did that to me, I would just be like, hey, teacher's bot. Wait, who's the bot? I don't know. But you can tell they're like teachers aren't allowed to do that to you. Is this movie rated R? Is this PG-13? They're really stretching their PG-13. Wait, how many racial slurs are you? It's not a racial slur, but how many like offensive words for a specific group of people are you allowed to use in a movie like this? I don't know. They must not have any. They might not have any like swear words after this. Is this English or writing? Why do they have a writing thing back there? I don't know. At my school, it's like not every classroom is that teacher's classroom forever. They switch around a lot. That's my microphone, by the way. It's just sitting down there. That was like the most teacher thing ever. You know what I mean? Like when teachers want to get answers, and then every kid just doesn't actually know the answer, but they still want one. And I was like, yes, but no. And sometimes they try to stretch it out to the longest possible thing. So some kid will say, like the question will be like, "Hey, what's 2 plus 2?" And then the kid will go 17. He says, "Yes, that's totally right, because 17 is in fact a number, as is 4." And I'm just like, that's not. Why is Charlie writing this in his book? Like, that's not going to be helpful at all later on. I feel like that people sometimes I do that too in my notebooks. I'll be like, oh, I'll write down whatever, but without any context. It's just going to say Charles Dickens, and in a week I'm not going to know what I wrote. I don't think I like am known as a teacher's pet. I guess I don't know. Sometimes kids will like put down teachers just because they were lazy, and I'll be kind of like, yeah, it's not really a teacher's fault, and that's not a That's not people don't like that, but I think they do. Okay, I'm not gonna have this whole thing be like in the book, blah blah blah, but in the book, I feel like the teacher was done. I don't know. I'd like to say these teachers done better here because in the book, he's constantly. Oh, is Patrick in the back? He was arguing with. I love that. Um, in the book, his teacher he's actually like way more his friend, and he comes over to the teacher's house and like he meets his girlfriend who apparently has lots of armpit hair, which is a weird detail. But in the movie, he's not a ton. He's kind of tries to encourage him, like gives him some books and stuff, but it's not that personal. And that's part of what like the actual things that lift him out of it is his friends and his high school people, which is nice. God, the script is so good. Emotions sometimes that's the thing. We always ask people like, "How are you?" And we don't want to hear an answer that's longer than like 3 seconds. If you say fine, but also and then booyah, your time's already up. It's oh gosh, he's the kind of dad who makes his kid call him sir. Oh wait, okay, a whole thing that they actually okay, so they had a scene in the book where his sister ended up getting an abortion and Charlie like went with her. It was a whole nice thing. They shot that for the movie, and they shot lots of stuff for the movie, and then they didn't include it. Which like I get maybe it's not the most important thing, but there okay, there's one point in the Christmas later where there's a poem scene. You got to look up the poem scene because the soundtrack it's like oh my gosh, it's really sweet. Because it's deep. That makes no sense. Sing me to sleep. Charlie, you know why you're so dark? You didn't turn on the overhead light. Come on. Why you only got that one lamp going on? Sleep. Okay, I don't. Do people actually get bullied like this? I feel like most people, they would, if you were really like a real bully, would just ask you to write their term paper or something. I think there's a good chunk of dads who are like this, where they're afraid of, I don't know, they make their kids call them sir, and they're like not showing that much emotion, but they show that they care through other ways. Like he's making us on a clock, or they do whatever. Like for them, love is more of an action. It's not as much what they say or how they like hugs and stuff. I did like pep bands for what was it? It wasn't like pep band. Yeah, it was pep band pretty much. Not at my current high school, but in last high school, it was part of doing marching band as well. And let me tell you, when it's like 30 degrees and you also have to have a metal, because I played French horn and the marching version of that's a metal. It's just like a big trumpet. When you have to press that mouthpiece and it's like so cold, it sucks, man. Oh my gosh, your lips get really chapped because that's how you have to play things. You buzz your lips, and so when you try to, oh my gosh, it sucks. Virginity pledges. You can tell how they, because they when they walk, you can tell how good they think they are because when they walk down the thing, they go like they're just like, everybody look at my shoulders. Woo. This does the thing right here where after he says, "Hey Patrick," he's like, "Hey, thanks for not calling me nothing." I feel like a lot of times scripts have to do that, where it's something kind of subtle and nice, and then the writer kind of wants credit for it, so they so they end up having some other character be like, "Hey, you said that thing. That was pretty cool," and it's, I don't know. That's the fucking thing that gets me. Lots of times in high school, people will say some shit, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is super funny, right?" It wasn't. It's just lazy. I don't know. Or the porta john. I always like using porta john instead of porta potty because when the hell did it become like a normal thing for everyone to just say potty? I feel like after three, that's not a thing, but apparently it still is. Porta pooper. That's another good one. I guess people like the alliteration. Okay, three. They got three. I don't think they're gonna curse anymore. Nope. I was okay. They're really stretching the limit here. Wait, what the heck is the limit for how much you can swear in a thing? Wait, where's my phone? Oh, I'm using my phone to record. I wish he said, "Oh, we're going to Kings after the game." Yeah, you're not welcome. Don't come. It's so like the little thing here. I never thought about this, but like the whole reason Patrick is there is to support Brad, and that's literally it. And right after you see him smile, and like he kind of looks over at him, and it's subtle. Like they don't overspell everything. Anything that comes up later is kind of hinted at. Visuals. Okay. I don't know. I did the point thing. The way he talks is, I don't know how to describe it, but it's perfect. I can make you a CD if you want. It's the kind of which is weird. He's probably like 20 in this, but he seems like a 14-year-old. I spell it as a 16-year-old. I'm not that much older. I'm younger than the actors pretending to play people that are younger than me. I don't. Well, those people are those people are like 20 pretending to be 18, but he's pretending to be 15 or whatever. I mean, I buy it. I don't. I would laugh at that because of how he phrased it anyway. You wouldn't be like, because your boyfriend and girl. Oh, well, I'm Not gonna make that a joke. Ezra Miller sitting in the middle seat of a old used truck. I don't know. That sounds like a name of a poem or like a Panic at the Disco song. Ezra Miller in the middle seat of a. It's like we all live in a yellow submarine. I would. I mean, I would buy it. I gotta print that on a T-shirt. Ezra Miller in the middle seat of a used truck. Every time something good happens in this movie, some shit follows it, and I don't. I feel like that's what happens a lot of times in life. You can't just be happy or just be sad at one point. It's all kind of this little thing. This is the first time that you're introduced to Aunt Helen. I just realized that, which is interesting because later Charlie, like pretty much immediately after this, Charlie's all like, "Oh, like all the Helen's boyfriends." So for a second, you think that he's associating like abuse with. So I mean, I guess these out there in like the road. So it's also maybe it's a road thing. It's also associated with like Aunt Helen's abuse. So you think it's all just because he likes her, and then that's the abuse triggered that or the fact that she was also abused. But it's actually that she abused him, and that's art. So they're already setting up all these kind of subtle links that you wouldn't expect, and that the second time or third time you watch this movie, you get it, and it's so great. It's just such. It's so well done, and it's all done visually, by the way. When he looks out the window like that, that was a great. It's so good. It's so good. So good. That's the line. Um, I will admit, I watched this yesterday as well. I don't know. I really like this movie. It's never the girl's girl. It's not your fault. Come on. She said that way before I did that. Whatever. If you're not out of sync, if that wasn't lining up exactly. For a second, I thought that was the night we met from 13 Reasons Why. I uh, I don't know. That's the whole reason I'm doing this commentary is because of pretty much it. And so I don't like 13 Reasons Why it's like mental health stuff. It's kind of messed up. This is much better than that. But um, I don't know. It's fun to watch in the context people who it's so ridiculous. For a second, I thought they were gonna play "I Wish I Was in Dixie." Is that the name of it? Well, I wish I was in. No, that's. Ugh. You see, the problem with that is that obviously Confederacy awful, obviously slavery awful. The song kind of banging. I don't know what to say, but it's written by a Northerner too. That's what's so funny. Sam, that's it. That's it. Oh my gosh, I have lots of friends named Sam. If you're a Sam watching this, hey, this movie gets me so pumped up, man. Ezra rocking that. Is it a scarf? I don't know. Crap, what's his character's name? Patrick. Patrick's rocking that scarf. I don't know what to say. Oh, I love it when he puts it around Charlie and he goes like, "That's." He's holding the scarf and doing that. He's not like milking him. Don't take that out of context. This is exactly how crushes work in freaking high school. You always want the thing you can't have. It's so good. I swear, I literally, I was trying to snap this girl the other day, and I specifically asked because all the girls I've like recently tried to do whatever with, I've tried to like talk to, they've ended up having like a boyfriend or whatever. So I asked like two or three of our mutual friends, is she dating anybody? And they all said no, and I was like, okay. And then we talked for like most of the night, and you know what happened then? She literally was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with this guy, and I was like, oh come on, man. That was such a good cut. Oh my gosh. Literally, like I said, the editing, the script, the acting, the soundtrack, the visuals, it's all here. I don't think this is one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies of all time. Oh man. He's a cook. Come on, bro. You see, he's rocking that scarf. Good for Patrick. Guy's fashion is limited to basically the most boring crap ever. Like, basically what I'm wearing now: jeans, a hoodie, and like a t shirt. Like, that's what you're allowed to wear. It's just, come on. I'm not. I'm not actually that artsy myself, so I don't know what I would wear otherwise. But oh, sit up here. Hey, ladies, nice to meet you. I'm Charlie. Yeah, that's not a good joke. He goes up and he's like, apparently I'm Charlie. Apparently you're the ladies. Let's get together. Did they not have texting? I guess, when did this movie come out? 2014? This was the first thing Emma Watson did after Harry Potter, basically. She went to Brown, and that, good for Emma Watson, by the way. Getting her education, all that. I mean, she graduated high school. They did high school on set. Can you imagine doing that on Harry Potter? Like, you get to go to high school on Harry Potter. That must have been so cool for all those kids. Oh, it's Charlie. And after he's high, the camera goes up. The little line there. Charlie says "darn" instead of "damn" because he grew up in that super Catholic family. Not to say Catholics couldn't, whatever, but I feel like they usually sometimes their parents care a little bit more about profanity. Okay, like I said, I did marching band, and I gotta be honest, I don't disagree with that. I'm sorry. It's exhausting when you're on parade and you're marching for like 2 miles, because you're not only marching and like trying to get all your feet up, you also gotta basically go like 10 miles holding something that's like 10 pounds straight up, and then also like normally when you'd run, you'd be like trying to breathe in a bunch of air. You're only allowed to breathe every like 16 seconds. Like you gotta constantly blow out stuff. So I don't know. I guess if you're percussion, you can breathe normally, but I would call it more of a physical activity. It can be demanding in sometimes, but it's not a sport. Is that Charlie's like the flirty drunk, but he's so suave he can't be creepy. Ethan. It sounds crazy after twice. I don't know what to say. Oh fuck, man. Like they don't tell you that in the letter. So when you hear it and you hit it with Sam, and it's just quiet, there's no soundtrack. It really hits you. They do it well. They don't every pitfall that a thing can fall in, this avoided. I mean pitfalls of over narration and like adaptations. Every pitfall of an adaptation. This he only has to say it once. Wait, whose house is this? Is Patrick out? I feel like he said it pretty openly in the diner, but I guess Brad definitely isn't. That's a big. I think I don't know. I know lots of people who are gay or something, and they're closeted still in like high school because they're afraid of getting bullied or whatever, and it's hard. I mean, if anyone out there, I know no one's probably gonna watch this video, but if anyone out there is watching it, there are people who support. You're great. There's nothing wrong with you. That's not a sort of patronage. I actually do mean it. If you are like gay or whatever, and you're watching this, like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're good. People are willing. There are people out there who will be willing to accept you, and who will love you for you, and that's all that matters. The audio, man. Fuck. Yeah, you said it a couple times, bro. This is this is a really good movie. This is a really really good movie. I love it. The way he talks, man. The way he talks is so good. Red Solo cup. When I feel you. What was that song in Glee? My cup, my cup. Saying what's up to my cup, my cup. Saying what's up to my cup. Oh, tunnel scene. Yes. This is a really popular song. I don't believe they'd never heard this before. She didn't have a seatbelt on. She did not have a seatbelt on. Emma Watson coming out the back of a car down a tunnel. That's a Panic at the Disco song. Heroes. Charlie, stop checking out my boobs. Okay, this is a beautiful moment. I don't want to mess it up, but I I will be king, and you will be queen. That hits different when you watch it as a movie. I love the book, but the thing is, what I like about this is that it actually was a movie. I feel like lots of book adaptations, they try to be too much like the book, and then the movie's kind of not as good as it could be. Or lots of, I don't know. When you let each thing be as good as it can be on its own, then it's like apples and oranges. You can't compare them, and it says something cool about movies and books on their own. This is a little bit of an area where the narration doesn't do shit, but I don't mind as much. Paul Rudd has the most teacher face of anybody. And I don't mean that as an insult to teachers, but he definitely has a teacher face. That's definitely been a thing. Lots of my friends in high school from well at my older high school. Now I have lots more classes with people, but well now I don't have as many classes. But like I feel like there are lots of times where actually in high school you're able to hang out with people more outside of school and hang out with them at lunch and stuff, and that's nice because I don't know. I think before that it's all about who you happen to be in classes with. This is a good juxtaposition right here. Oh, my laptop's charged. Sorry, it's a little bit insensitive compared to what's happening right now. Okay. Fuck, man. Would I mean, I'm not super an expert on like the Bible or anything, but I think to most people what Christianity is it's a message of kindness and acceptance and love more than anything. So when people try to, use Christianity to dog on, minorities group of people for something they can't control, it makes me sad because it feels like they missed the whole point of the book in the first place. The whole point is love. And I know so many other Christians who are open up, who are totally accepting, and I don't know. I think it's not a nuanced take. It's just anyway. My whole point of that was just that I think that most of what Christianity is about is love, and I think that you can definitely be a Christian and support gay people, or be a Christian and gay at the same time. Oh, it's Patrick. He looks great. I've never watched Rocky Horror. Oh my gosh, I should do one on Rocky Horror next Halloween. Okay, Emma, we get it. You're gorgeous. Oh, and it's wait, who plays the guy who plays that character in the movie? In South This movie cannot be rated PG-13. I swear. It is stretching the boundary so far. Charlie looks back at. Okay, that's cute. Does he kiss him? No. Okay. Oh, he just twerks on him. Whoa. Okay, Patrick. Wait, does he have a tattoo on his thigh? What did it say? What's on his arm? Is that a heart? It looks like a heart. Okay. And within 2 seconds, we already hate Craig. That's so great. I hate him, and that's great because he's like, "Oh, I know." Whenever someone compliments you, don't say, "I know." Like, come on, what the hell? That's a little bit aggressive. Come on, girl. You know it's bad when you don't actually say the score. You just say, "Oops." Do you need to start studying freshman year? Holy shit. Charlie is just There are lots of people I feel like who can kind of do things for other people all the time without getting a ton. That's a great line from Silver Linings Playbook. Actually, is when Jennifer Lawrence is all like, "Oh, you know what? I keep doing shit for other people and I never get anything back." It depends because also though you want to be gracious and kind to those who are good people, and the trick is that you can't do it at expense to yourself. And I feel like that's what Charlie and what some people don't get. You can still be nice to other people. You just need to do it with the right people and so that it doesn't harm you. I have horrible taste in music. I need to listen to some other stuff. I don't listen to that much music though, so I don't know. I just listen to the Minecraft soundtrack on whatever on Spotify and also Hamilton and cheesy songs from Mamma Mia. ABBA, by the way, is legitimately good, and I will fight the songs of Mamma Mia. I gotta watch Mamma Mia. Okay, I do have a list of all the movies I'm gonna watch this year, so I don't want to spoil it too much, but Mamma Mia will be one of the videos. Okay, that's a pretty clear spoiler, but that kind of subtle music cue, and for Charlie it means love, and like that moment when everything would be okay, or like, oh, it's him and her. I always thought that was Craig. Holy crap! He just for him everything being all right is kind of tied to love and friendship, and that's what brings him back from this kind of huge bout of depression. That's so. I love that. Best quote in the entire movie. At some point when they say it, I think Paul Rudd says it, but when they say it, I'll point it out. It's like the theme. I like the movies where they take a theme and they actually grow it in a couple new ways. So it's like it's a little. It's kind of around depression and acceptance and self worth and all this sort of stuff. But they explore that through the whole theme of just friendship in the environment of high school with like really good acting and stuff. And they make this guy a tool so freaking well, and I can't even. That said, what he said there was a little bit true. He says like not crazy things, but just in a dickish way. If you say like, "Oh yeah, let's listen to some different music," that's different than being like, "Your music is depressingly sad," but like that's what she said. I thought of that. Okay, if that didn't exactly sync up, um, you're not out of sync. I needed to say that. I'll edit it in the actual video, but you're not out of sync in like the highlights video. I mean, oh, you know what happens in the book actually? Charlie tells this guy, the teacher, that uh, that's the quote. The bit where crap, what was the name of it? I don't know. Lost my train of thought. I feel like I do that all the time. Every guy does that. We like adjust our hair and we don't actually change it at all. She has lots of star jewelry. I guess she had like the earrings and the necklace and stuff. Bow. They just put up a different banner. This is like snow is coming down. This is where the poem scene was. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Okay, in the book, Paul Rudd he tells the teacher about his sister being abused, and then the teacher calls his parents, and they make it so they can't date anymore. But I like the movie does it better because they decided that no, this is more about because in the book it's more realistic. In the movie, it's not necessarily unrealistic, but it's also nice that she makes that choice herself. She is like, no, I don't deserve that. No one deserves that, and that's a good. I don't know. It's a good hit for his sister. I like that bit. He's excellent at like the smiles. So when he was actually smiling, he was like, but when he's kind of trying to put up a face, he goes. There are lots of moments like that where it's sort of like, oh, I kind of know, or I can even act this way sometimes. I'm like, okay, here's the reaction that I'm supposed to have. I'm gonna say that, and then even if I don't actually feel that way, you put on a mask, and that's. But also, people you don't want to hurt people who you care about, but you're not always connected to your emotions. Below average. Go Sam. The people in this movie are actually like real people too. She delivers every single line exasperated. She's the only actress in this that I'm kind of like, actor. Sorry, actor. My bad. This is where they did the poem scene. I think in the thing you have to look up in YouTube. You have to look up "Perks of Being a Wallflower" poem scene. It's really sweet. A suit is expensive. I feel like you don't understand how expensive clothes are until you go try to go buy one for yourself. Just buy some for yourself. I like each other. Okay, that's sweet. C.S. Lewis, J.R. I can only think of fantasy right now. I'm sorry. Did J.K. Rowling wear suits? I think I saw her in like. Oh crap! They brought up J.K. Rowling in this like movie all about acceptance and stuff. I'm sorry. She's a little bit of a turf. I try not to talk about her too much anymore. She's kind of shitty. Just letting your friends know that you care about them. It's always like I think normal most of the time if you're not sure if you should do something nice, but you kind of want to, it's better to do it. It's just something in the way she moves. That's a hint for a movie I'm gonna do later. It's actually well, it's not really a hint. I'm gonna do. It involves Beatles. That was a dead giveaway. Shit. Aww. I think they should have done the poem scene over that personally, but I guess there are lots of dramatic moments with the friends. So every now and then, if they just do a kind of chill one, I don't mind that as much. Oh, she got the Christmas lights and the candle and that Live Laugh Love poster. No, there was actually a little college humor bit about like basic things or whatever. It was really sweet. I'm not gonna make fun of that. Basically, 80% of this is me telling you to go watch YouTube videos. That's my real life though. So holy, these people are willing to spend money. High schoolers, I feel like, man, we get like $1,000 and we go, oh man, I'm gonna immediately buy 100 gifts for everybody I know. I'm gonna talk over all the really sweet bits. Shit. Yeah, there's the line here where she's like, you can't just constantly put everyone else before yourself, which is hard to hear because it sounds like selfishness. But there's an area of selfishness that's different. It's an area of you have to have self care. That's what it means. Most people can be like lots of people can be somewhat selfish or somewhat selfless sometimes. But it's a weird problem when you're overly selfless because that's not super common. But it's important to actually, you know what I mean. He's a freshman in high school. Chill out a little bit. I'm kind of speaking for myself here. Chill out. You don't need a girlfriend. COVID makes that really easy. She phrases this like it's cool, and then this happens. That's what happened. It's like so fucked. I mean, every time I see a person or like a friend of mine who dates someone who's bad, you don't want to tell them, like, you want them to make their own decisions. But you also want to be like, hey, you deserve to be happy. Because you do. Yeah, that's the quote in this movie. Like, you accept the love you think we deserve. That's more true than that's true more often than not. We deserve happiness, and that can mean that you're lonely for some time, but you don't have to be. Loneliness doesn't have to be filled with like with romantic whatever. You can get good friends, and that's enough for a bit. You can't. You have to say I'm worth something, and that I want to be happy. So I'm not gonna date people who don't treat me like I'm at least worthy of whatever. Because love isn't mistreating somebody. That's not what love is. Even though he's a dick. I want to forget about it too. Let's do it. All right, I'm kind of a stand-in for Charlie because I have a crush on Emma Watson, but just ignore that for a second while I watch the scene quietly and don't try to imagine what's going on in my head. I speak a lot. I'm gonna miss the scene if I keep talking. Okay. She That was really sweet. Also, though, that's a little bit leading him on. That's a little bit mean. It's meant with love, but he's never gonna get past her this whole year, and she knows that. Oh, so they each go back to their respective. Okay. Patrick goes back to his mom. She goes back to her shitty dad alone. Mm. Most girls don't lead guys on the way that they think, or they don't understand what it is to lead guys on. Sometimes just expressing, and guys can also be complete jerks in how they interpret certain things. Like a girl will say hi in sort of a nice tone of voice, and they'll be like, "Oh man, she's flirting with me." Sometimes, I think also though, guys can read too much into things, but also sometimes girls they don't know what guys will interpret as that. So like if a I don't know exactly what to say, but I don't know. I honestly I think the biggest thing people can treat it as like a headache. Just ask. The worst she can say is no, and I don't mean like. And if she does say no, and you're still friends with her, then don't get upset because that's not her fault most of the time. I don't think. Like she doesn't owe you anything. Also, every time that they have Aunt Helen come back, they have her come back around some scene that just involves sexual abuse. Like I said the first scene. This scene also like right after Sam tells him about like a an old creepy friend of her dad, kissing her or whatever. This happens. It's really well done. Like that little thing right there. I swear I went to like a summer camp once where all we had like we had all the pizza we wanted, and it actually started to not be as much as it turned out to be as good as you thought after a while. You got to you got to have that variety. I get that people mean that with love. Sometimes though, when they say it like it's a dread, it's onslaught. It's a little. I understand that you can't. It's hard for other people too, because other people care about you, and that's nice. But other times, it is more about yourself, and when people try to kind of make it about them through those sorts of reactions, it can be hard. Oh, Charlie. Oh, this transition. This is an okay. This is a 13 Reasons Why transition right here. You ready? 13 Reasons Why. Go Tigers. Let me hear you roll coming out the transition. 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 All right, I'm straight up just copying PMI right now. Except I don't have Jacob right next to me. I guess Eric doesn't have that either. Ooh, okay. I'm sorry, guy. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I feel bad for that whole thing panned out. For those of you who don't know, there's a YouTube commentary channel called Pretty Much It that was started by this guy named Eric, and then there was also another guy named Jacob who do lots of stuff with him. Like he do lots of commentaries, and they were sort of friends. But then Jacob pretty publicly said that he didn't work for Pretty Much It anymore because he claimed that they weren't paying him enough or something like that. And then uh, that's what Jacob said. Sorry, Eric, who runs the company, said no, we pay you enough. And then Jacob on the Twitter was like, on Twitter was like, yeah, no, I don't. I'm just gonna leave it be. And now they don't do any more commentaries together, which is really sad because they did seasons 1, 2, and 3 of 13 Reasons Why, and then they didn't do 4. But they got a 6-car garage. How many cars do you have? Jeez. Not one of those is a double door? Like, come on. I feel like I was just talking about freaking 30 Minutes Why, and then this happens. I need to actually be in the movie. I'm sorry. Ooh. I have no idea where to put this mic. I'm just going to hold it. This is what I mean by visual. It's so gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. Every second of this just wants to make me cry because it's so amazing. It's watching this movie for me. It feels like when you get into a pool and it's just the right temperature, and you just let yourself float. I have no idea if that analogy made any sense, but it will go in the highlights video because I'm very proud of it. I'm not going to comment on the LSD thing in case my parents are watching this. Hey, Mom. Did he at least put on a coat before he ran out outside? Okay, he did. I swear, stuff like this happens more often than you think. In the Midwest, cause I live in Illinois, uh, more often than you think, uh, there's kind of Well, okay, in the Midwest, like the temp is like today it's like 30. It needs to be 30 and like around for snow to actually happen. But lots of times in the Midwest, in real winter, it's like negative 20 or something. So it's way too cold for snow to happen. Other times though, snow does happen, and it's like not. It's just enough to like lightly dust the ground and not enough to pack. So it's weird. Our winters are so spotty that sometimes you don't actually get as much snow. Every now and then there is snow, but it's like it's so wet that eventually kind of melts and it does whatever, and it ends up just being gray and sloshy on the ground, and all the streets are. Come on, Charlie. Sometimes why do they always ask you those questions with your parents and like the police right in that room? I swear. The other day I like went to the doctor's office and she goes, "Okay, blah blah blah. These vitamins are gonna be bad if you also drink. Are you a drinker?" And I went, "No," because I mean that's the truth. But also I'm like, my mom's sitting right there. Do you think that I would like be like, "Yeah, definitely. This is the snow. This is the snow I was talking about." Yes. Oh my gosh. Never even predicted that. Honestly, if everyone's gonna treat you like shit anyway, might as well lean into it. Like, just be yourself. Even the freaking teacher. I forgot about this bit. Sinatra was so cool. You see that Seth MacFarlane does like the best Sinatra ever? He even did an album where he basically just ended up looking like him. Ah. Imagine they say, "We had an emergency. Craig, his car toppled over the." I would not be. I don't want anyone's car to topple over. That's not what I mean. I just mean that if Craig's car toppled over, I would be less upset than if, like, Obama's car. Whatever. Wow, Logan. Talk about the luckiest guy in the world. Freaking Logan Lerman. Her face is in the shot, so you know that it's not. Down, down, down. I don't even think she's wearing a wig right now. Main attraction. Do they really have to reenact this bit? They're not even doing what's on the screen. They could probably just have him be on a bed. I don't know. Creature of the night. Craig is also. They do it in like subtle ways. They don't have him show up. They don't show what he's doing. It doesn't matter. He's not there. I mean, he is cheating on her, but. Oh, Charlie, man. This is the kind of thing. Sometimes you can just fall sideways into a relationship that maybe you're not happy with. I'm not saying that happened to me, but that happens, I think, lots of times to people. I have girls ask me out before. I think it's cool. If you're independent, I mean, that's nice. I get some guys probably, that's not a thing consistently. I mean, some people are probably maybe intimidated by that or whatever, but. Oh, it's Hannah's mom. It's Olivia Baker. How did I not put that together? It's Olivia Baker. Yes. It's Hannah's mom. Oh no, Charlie. That visual acting though there was so hilarious. It was the best. Now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, hey now. That's like a 45-year-old guy right there. What the heck? That guy to the left, that guy was like 45. That was not even. That's the tradition in like movies and stuff. They have people who are 40 or whatever. At least Emma Watson is like 23 in this movie, right? So she's playing an 18-year-old. But that's not that much of a stretch. She looks like she could be 18. Logan Lerman would be a little bit older. But like, don't have someone who's 30 or like that's my only problem with Glee. They're clearly so much older than their characters. They have all these videos that are like Mr. Shu being a creep or whatever. But I mean, it's just an actor looking at 26-year-olds or whatever. Now she's the wallflower. And Mary Elizabeth, that, like, you know what I'm talking about? If you pay close attention to the visuals in the movie, you always get something else. I love movies where if you don't get it, it's like if you don't look at very closely, you can still enjoy it. But if you do, there's a reward because it proves how much effort was put into it by everyone and everyone cared about it. That's my general rule with movies. If the people who made it actually loved it and cared about it, then that makes me want to love and care about it so much more. It's rewarding and it's I think part of why he dates Mary Elizabeth is just because this is the area of being selfless for other people that's harmful. When it affects you, you're allowed to say something about it. You should say something about it. You need to be honest. That's the other thing. So I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant about toxic masculinity. What people mean when they say toxic masculinity, they don't mean that just being a guy is bad. That's not what they mean. They mean that there's like the stereotypical 1950s macho guy, and that there are positive attributes of that person and negative attributes. So the positive stuff is like having a hard work ethic and being chivalrous. I get like just being kind and opening doors for people. That's a nice thing to do. Or also like sacrifice, like putting your family or your country before yourself. So I mean, but then there's also negative attributes where you're not able to recognize weakness in yourself and others, and also like homophobia and sexism. So if some other guy is crying, you're like, oh, you know, why you're crying, you girl, or you gay, whatever. And it's like, and that's not positive. The opposite of those, I would say, are good. Like, you know, what's the opposite of sexism and whatever? It's respect. What's the opposite of not being able to talk about stuff? It's honesty. What's I don't know. What's the opposite of not being able to recognize things in others? Is is empathy and compassion. I don't think that there's anything unmanly about respect, honesty, and empathy. And so when I think of a guy, I think, yeah, it's okay to be sensitive and be honest and respectful and compassionate and chivalrous and kind and whatever. Like those are all positive attributes. You don't have to. People talk about toxic masculinity. They mean the stereotypical whatever that's somehow put onto guys. And like, no, you're not allowed to wear certain clothes. No, you're not allowed to show your emotions. And I feel like depression and all this sort of stuff, when you see like men's rights activists, it's a little cringy. But that is a thing. Like guys are like 80% of suicide victims or something like that. Or they're not allowed to talk about all this kind of stuff as much. So, you know that show A Teacher that just came out? That's a perfect example of it. There are double standards sometimes where guys, they're afraid of actually being honest on occasion or being compassionate because they're afraid to be labeled a certain way. And that's fucked up, you know? You go on one date and you're already calling him your boyfriend. Charlie, come on, speak up. Come on. I mean, it's always the person who's doing stuff responsibility to know about consent and stuff. Also, though, I'm not victim blaming. But if you're not comfortable in a situation, it's also okay to speak up. That's my point here. If you want to talk about stuff and you're like not uncomfortable, speak up and then, you know, be vocal. The other person should still take responsibility, but also it's, you know, it's okay to be comfortable by being honest. I don't know. Yeah, most people watching this probably don't need life advice from a 16-year-old. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing. I'm just gonna watch the actual movie. That whole scene though, I was like, I don't. What the hell was I supposed to say during that? This is like kind of a. This is the only part of the movie where every time I watch it, this is the point where I like get up, go to get popcorn, go to the bathroom or whatever. Because I couldn't care less about this relationship. I think it's important for the thing, but this is the one area where the book does it better because it's like one letter about his thing. I don't quite like her as much, and that's it. feel like okay, this might sound thing. This isn't. I haven't met anyone personally like this. I have met people personally like this, but this isn't frequent. And I want to be clear. There's a big difference between a girl being like driven and independent. That's great. Um, Sometimes though, I feel like occasionally people can overcorrect a little bit. Like they're so sick of guys telling them what to do and all this sort of stuff for standards that every so instead of like breaking past that and just being themselves and it's like independent and cool, they can also just be a little bit rude. I don't I don't know. Like the point of a relationship should be 50-50 equal, listening to each other. That's what it should be. Sometimes guys can act like they're six whatever. They're like, "Oh, I'm 70%." No, that's bullshit. But the girl, if she also is like, "No, no, no, I should do all the stuff." That's the same thing as like a guy saying that too much. That's a little bit. Okay, that was a good cut, by the way. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm not making any sense. Ooh. She also is just. I feel like there are lots of people too, who are maybe used to dealing with crappy people. So as soon as they find someone who is just nice, even if they don't like them as much, they're willing to hang out with them a lot. Did he just say the the gay F word? That sounds weird. I don't know what to say that. I don't know. This is the worst second of the movie ever. It's so painful to watch, and it's just because pure cringe. Oh god. You see, this is the thing. It's like any if you're not honest consistently, then it all comes out at once. That's the reality. Your emotions, you do experience them and feel them. It's just in terms of how you express it, that's gonna. I don't know if it's a good analogy. I like playing with the Raycon case. It's just I did that just so that eventually Raycon will sponsor me. I mean, I actually like Raycons. It's just the case is fun to play with. I didn't. I actually put it back because uh, it's going to be around the microphone, and that would kind of be annoying after a little bit. You see, this is what I mean by visuals. When you read into the things more, and it's all about what you're not sure of, then I don't know, you become engrossed in a different way. By the way, when I get back to the religious thing, if anybody thinks that being gay is a choice, I don't know what I can say to convince you other than that there's so many people all throughout the world that treat gay people like crap. And I don't even mean in the US. In the US, it's never been great. Or, I mean, it's better now. It's great now. But it's not great. I mean, sure, there's still discrimination. But especially in other cultures, there are still gay people there. But that are literally, like, killed or whatever. You know? It's just, no one would choose that for themselves. No one would choose to live through all that. Also, you think that like, wait, how much? I don't know how much for the percentage of the population. 1 out of 10. It's at least 10%. You think that 10% of the whole population is just lying about a huge thing? Come on. This is the thing in high school. Everyone kind of knows about. Oh, that poor girl too. I mean, it would suck being figuring out that. Oh, this is one of the. I have two, my favorite scene in the movie is the end because I'm a corny whatever. But there's a really this is a great scene when Charlie stands up for him. Oh shit, he fell hard. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, I gotta sit up for this. He looks a little like Mark Hamill. Man, you can slice the sexual tension between the two of them with a knife. I swear, it's like Wallace and Gromit. No, I don't get that. I don't. I for some reason I thought of cheat. Oh, it hit me, man. I guess technically he's gay, so he's allowed to use it. Not in that context. Oh shit, man. Oh, Sam jumps in here too. Sam goes like. Sam runs into full. Oh shit, Sam. Man! Charlie! Charlie coming in clutch, man. Fuck. Oh, here's what he says. Here's what he says. I don't want to talk over it. So good. So good. People are complicated, you know? That's what I like about this movie, too. It's sort of like the Game of Thrones style of everyone's a great, person. It's complicated. Emma Watson's hair in this, by the way, her hair is so good. I swear. Do I get a play-by-play? I mean, come on. I need a hug. Come on. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna throw it with them. Here, I'll close my eyes. No. What's that song? It's like, oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. She's right though. Run, don't walk away. I can't sing. I just shouldn't try. Oh, she put on glasses. Okay, she put on glasses. Now she's a completely different person. I'm. The interesting part of the movie happened. I'm gonna sit back for it again. fuck? How's this? There we go. Oh, what Patrick does here, I get why he does it, but it's a little fucked up. I don't mean that as like. I feel like there's a pathological fear with lots of straight guys where it's like, gay guys are gonna kiss me. That's not the point. I just mean, in the context of the movie, it's it's not okay to deal with one of your friends who you're clearly just. It's not okay to, in general, when I'm talking about in like a friend setting, to with one of your friends to like try to kiss them or whatever to get over whatever. Like they're not your thing. You're a friend, which means it's platonic and it's I don't know. There's a trust that I'm talking about. It's not a gay straight thing. It's more of a friend thing. Movie is basically saying something that could totally be taken out of context and then explaining the context for the next 3 minutes. That's she comes here. Nah, she didn't come. It's her virginity. I don't want to only do sex jokes, but like, come on, that was not the worst. I, they could just get a Plan B pill. Oh fuck. Was there like sandwich still in it too? He gets like a crumb of a thing in his. It's not her name. That's hey second bait. Like I would just get a Plan B pill in that scenario. I don't know. It does like or she's on birth control. I'm not saying it's great. You should use a condom, but like, come on. You don't need to use a sandwich bag or drive 10 minutes to the CVS. You don't need to. The fuck, man. Also, that you wanted to have your like a super proper first time. Ideally, you wouldn't want to waste that. So why a sandwich bag ruins that forever? That can't be comfortable for the girl either. Jeez, it's not like soft on the like. There's a tip. It's like a corner. I'm talking over a shitty scene. I'm sorry. I can't reiterate this again. If if you're gay, you don't need to feel ashamed. You know, people out there willing to support you. And I know this channel probably has like 0 subscribers, and it will for a long time. But if this ever grows to something bigger, I just want to make it clear if this ever grows and people are rewatching the first one, just know that you are welcome here, at least. Oh, also back in that scene, the fact that they didn't have any score except for like the crickets in the background, such a great decision. They like lots of the scenes in this movie that are tense. They have like a light score, like a little like doodaloo, like a musical cue, or there are some things that studios do sometimes to like be able to get the movies more popular. Like they'll adapt something. They'll have lots of famous actors come in. Maybe they'll advertise some music that's going to be in the movie or whatever. And that's just so they can market it. But it doesn't bother me when it's done well. In this movie, it's done well. They actually have good actors, but like they cast good people in it. And there are some less famous people, but like they're there to accept. Like they actually did a good job, or they adapted it, but they did it better, or at least in a different way that's apples and oranges. You know what I mean? Roar, Omega Roar. Anyone see Monsters U? I'm not gonna do a commentary on that, but I like that's my favorite movie. Kiss for movies. This is honors English, and they have that many people. I want to watch for 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know. When I was at my high school, my old high school, I go to high school with like maybe I don't know how many kids there, but it doesn't have that many. It's a smaller high school. My old high school had like 2,000 kids who went to it, and my freshman honors English class had maybe 16 kids. So I have no idea. This school must be really huge, or it has lots of smart people. In which case, why the hell is everyone bullying Charlie? People, they need so little encouragement sometimes to just feel good, like they matter. They just need one. It can. It's a lot of times they need more than that. But like, I one girl a year ago literally said, "Hey, I think that you're good at art," and that stuck me in mind like this whole year. Like that's what every time I pick up my sketch pad, I think of that. Some lots of times people they only need that much to really feel like they can do. And this movie is so beautiful and so happy and sad at the same time. There was a Trin Level quote about this. She said like, it. I watched a lot of videos about this beforehand because I didn't want to mix all of the other ideas. But the one that she said about like mixing nostalgia and the other thing, this hits it so hard. Yas queen. No, it's serious. If you abusive relationships, fuck them. You go, girl. Well, I can't say that. I'm trying to be supportive. That's what I mean. I have lots of friends who are girls. I don't know why it's so hard for me to try to just say positive things, but down here it's our time. It Sean Astin comes in. Sean Astin would be good. He is the teacher face. The great thing here, you can sort of see his hat, but you're not sure what it says. And then here we go. It's just his foot. Um, the thing is, I'm not as fast as PMI at coming up with jokes. So in the highlight video, I'll probably put that in there as like a thing. But in sync, it's not going to be as funny. I'm sorry, you're not out of sync if you saw it like that. She didn't open it. What he's really saying that is that you're not going to think about me anymore. You're going to forget about me. Like, I, I'm sure if I my friends who watch it, they're the smarter than me. I'm not as that smart, but uh, That's such like it's subtle. This is the thing with this movie. It's subtle and it hits you harder because of it. Sometimes people overscript things or they over explain everything and it actually weakens the movie. I'm sitting here over explaining it for you so that you don't need the movie to do that. But I hope it's fun if you're watching this. That we do. That we do. There was a scene with Paul Rudd, not Paul Rudd, Keanu Reeves and Stephen Colbert, where Stephen looked at him. He's like, "What do you think happens after we die, Keanu Reeves?" And the crowd kind of laughed, and we're expecting him to say some kind of zany line, and then he said, "I know that the people who love us will miss us," and it was so cute. And you just saw Stephen smile, and the whole crowd kind of go, "Oh," and they knew they had like that kind of quote, the kind of thing where people don't say it as much. It wasn't. There's another hint there. We've been through the same things that Aunt Helen bit. That's the thing. This moment and all the moments that are at the end, this emotional stuff, it's earned. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but it's earned throughout the whole movie in every way. That's that's why I'm willing to cry at this shit. It's because it's not, you know, it's there. It's there. Oh, we spent the night, I guess. Do you think they hooked up? I don't know. Because he's wearing the same clothes. Did he go back home, then get dressed, and come back? If that's your first time, oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that. No, he didn't hook up. Come on. Probably just slept on the couch or something. The fact that she's using one arm and he's using two because she knows that she shouldn't, but then she calls back in. It says so much. It's visual, and it's through the car window. Even the framing of every single shot, it's like a picture. You could take a screenshot. I guarantee you, at any point in this movie, you could take a screenshot, and that's a drawing that I'd want to do. That'd be like a great painting, you know. Every single, every single frame is a painting. Is that the name of a YouTube channel? I'm talking over kind of. The thing is, now we're the last 20 minutes. There aren't that many jokes that you can make that aren't insensitive. Even this huge dramatic moment, it's more like they pull away. It's more because of the absence of that, I guess. I don't know. Oh shit! Fuck. Lots of people they look at like what is that show? A Teacher. They like look at that sort of thing like, yeah, you go, guy. They don't realize how damaging it is. Like I know people who have gone through stuff like that, and you don't. He wanted his sisters in the room. In the book, Charlie The last letter actually is him saying, "I don't want to, be here anymore." Whatever, and then that's the end of it. And then there's an epilogue where he writes another letter, and they cut out the whole span of time where he gets better, and when he did all the work, and it was, and it's just him, like, apparently I was like crying naked on the floor or something. But here you think it might be suicide, and he calls his sister, I guess. That's the other thing. If you're going through stuff, you can talk to people about it. Whenever you talk about it, it gets better. It gets better. And it doesn't seem like it will, or like people would understand, but the reason you don't think that is because you don't understand it yourself. And people can't necessarily understand it for you, but they can help you understand it more. And there's always more to understand and more life to live. Fuck. I can't do this like kind of thing. Like, this film's heavy, bro. Film's beautiful and so heavy, and it hits me like a truck every time. Every time it hits me like a fucking truck. I can't phrase it any other way. Oh shit! Never noticed that before. There's no way to convey it. Like, the editing in this movie is so good. The lighting of, like, there's always shadow work in the hair and behind them. Some parts of it are paced incorrectly, I think. That's the main complaint. And it's because the guy wrote a book. So the screenwriter isn't going to know everything about pacing. That's the one thing that I think could be better. And the whole Mary Elizabeth scene should be cut down. It'd be better as a montage scene. There's a couple bits of over narration. But I don't want to focus on negative things. People like watch Cinema Sins, and it's way more fun to like things, people. It's way more fun to fucking like things. Like, here he's sort of saying what he said to himself all that time. It's another great line. It's another great line. It's worth it. It's worth it. Logan Lerman, bro. Round of applause for Logan Lerman. I did the shoulder because I have to use the other hand to hold. It's another great example. No music. No music. Subtle little cue. But the reason that you like this movie and the reason the scenes hit you is because of the acting in the script and a little bit of the music, and because the actual story is earned and done well. That's why this that's why it's so good. A little musical cue. That's not sure what to say, but you want to give him a hug, come on. My kiss, that's nice. That's the other thing about the toxic masculinity. Sometimes they're not allowed to show affection, you know? And, your family, I mean, the thing is, your family and your friends, they can care, but they can only help so much. You need to actually sometimes get professional help. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with reaching out. It's always okay. Yeah, and then it's a process too. It's not like you just get one. I love that quote. That's another good one. Sorry, I talked over it. My doctor said we can't choose where we come from, but we can choose where we can go from there. That's the thing. You don't always. There are things where you don't know exactly like what's gonna happen, or but you can always make the decision to care and love and be kind and be better. You can always do that. They couldn't put in a couple leaves on the table. I mean, geez, you don't need to have 6 seats always. Maybe they have grandparents that come over. Can Charlie come out and play? Ooh, if that wasn't perfectly synced up, then you didn't have it synced up correctly this whole time. You think him and Sam ever got together? Maybe. I'll say it for you, Sam. You put the ass in class, Patrick. I try. Yeah, it gets better. That's the other thing. It gets better. This second half of this is just me trying to be inspirational. I'm 16. I don't have that much life experience to go off of, but I can say that it's worth the work. Here's my favorite scene. Yeah! I love this movie so much. See how long the credits. The credits are 3 minutes. All right, I'm gonna try to schedule this as a 3-minute rant. I talked through the whole thing. You get why I love it. But everything you'd want in a movie: a good script, good actors, good cinematics, a good score, all the stuff you want. It's there. And I don't know. I think it hit me at an important time in my life when I read it. This movie saved my life, and every time I watch it, I'm reminded of how great it is to have friends and stuff, and what it means to be happy. That's I'm corny. I can't handle it. I deal with it, but I don't know. If you're going through some stuff, just know that people are out there who care about you, and everything's gonna be okay. If you're gay or whatever, if you've gone through abuse, you're worthy. You shouldn't be ashamed. It's not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, I feel like I put gay in the same categories. No, I mean, if you're gay, people accept you and love you. And like I said, you are welcome to this community. I don't mean you're welcome. I mean, here, no one's gonna make fun of you. We'll support you. I want to make this channel about more than just sex jokes and white guys or whatever. I want it to be a place for everybody. And I know it's it's me talking. I hope to get some collabs in the future. I got some friends lined up. I got some movies lined up. So please stay tuned. I had lots of fun doing this. This is the most fun I had in a while. And I just gotta say, this music is kicking my ass right now. If you stuck through the full length hour, 40-minute commentary track, geez, I mean, wow. This movie's on Netflix. I think I may have just said at the beginning. The movie's on Netflix. That's where I'm watching it. Don't watch these movies illegally. Get them legally. People worked hard on this. They deserve their money. I want to be very clear here. In terms of copyright stuff, this right here is under fair use because it's commentary and criticism. The hour 40-minute, it's just me talking. So I want you to go out and support these people and all, because that supports people like me. So my inspirational is for the people like Trin Level, pretty much it. And Dylan's in Trouble. They also saved my life, and they're amazing. Please go check out their channels. Yeah, I don't know. For anyone wondering, the channel, the logo, the thumbnail for this, I drew it myself. For the background color, I used the one that's in the book. I don't actually have a book. Jeez, I got those way down. That's also what the color of the channel banner is. My cowboy hat is, I don't know, I picked the cowboy hat. If you look closely, it's also a smiling face. And if you're wondering what the M here stands for, it's Monmouth College. That's the college my dad works at. So that's it. If you want to know what the setup is, it's just me with this microphone and then this weird table thing. You can kind of see it right there. I got it for COVID, and I haven't used it for anything else. But anyways, I'm really glad that if you watched this whole thing, I appreciate you so much. I had a really great time. I hope you did too. And thanks.